Welcome to the Valhalla Filmcast, a show where normal guys talk about the films that they love. And here are your hosts, Bryce Thompson, Brian Hammond, and Cody Ryrie. Now get ready, because the show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Valhalla Filmcast. I am Bryce Thompson. I am here with Cody Ryrie and Brian Hammond.
Hello.
Good evening, or morning, or whatever.
Yeah, whatever time you're listening to is, we're glad you're here, listening to our wonderful voices. So this is part 2 of The Leftovers. This would be the leftover dessert section, if you will.
Yes.
I don't even know if it's a dessert. Kind of, sure, why not? Whatever. But this is going to be the movies that we are most looking forward to as the year wraps up. These are probably going to be your Oscar nominees, most likely. Award movies, big movies. So we'll take it and we'll go from it. Go with that. I'll start off with some of the movies that I'm excited for. I'll start off with Jackie. I think it's out in limited release now, I believe. And comes out everywhere December 2nd. It's the story about First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy and kind of how she dealt with the death of her husband, John F. Kennedy. It looks really interesting. It looks really thought-provoking in a way, kind of seeing the other side of it. So yeah, that one looks interesting. I'm excited to see that. It has Natalie Portman playing Jackie, and that'll be interesting. I would like to see that one when it comes out.
She's getting some Oscar buzz for that. I mean, I'm hearing that she's so much like Jackie Kennedy that it's freaky. So
I mean, she looks like
sounds
her
interesting
too, like in the pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
She looks like her, like compared to each other. So that looks interesting. Another one that I'm interested in is Patriots Day. That is starring Mark Wahlberg and is about the Boston Marathon bombings and kind of I don't know if is it from the perspective of the police officer that Mark Wahlberg is playing. Does anybody know?
Yes. Well, and I know that there's like John Goodman is playing, I think, the mayor or something like that. But I think most of it's told from Mark Wahlberg's policeman perspective. At least that's what the trailer has led me to believe.
Yes. So that one looks interesting. It comes out January 13th, so a little later, but still in that Oscar.
Well, can I say something real quick about that? Yeah. It makes this really interesting trilogy with Mark Wahlberg and Peter Berg, who's the director.
Yes.
He just did Deepwater Horizon with Mark Wahlberg, and then before that he did Lone Survivor with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's this really interesting Mark Wahlberg and this director have done like current event movies, and this kind of fulfills the third trilogy version of that. And Lone Survivor is a really good movie. I haven't seen Deepwater Horizon, but I've heard great things.
Yes, yeah,
so
same.
Yeah, it's just kind of cool when I think directors and actors get on a run like that and make a series that's kind of unofficial but dealing with the same kind of things.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting. It'll kind of, about like an event that was like really bad. It was really bad, but there's so many survivors from it, and so that's kind of interesting, about this event that happened that, will be interesting to see how the people that actually went through it, what they think of it, because, they lived to see, what happened as time progressed. Also, I'm excited to see Assassin's Creed with, oh my gosh, I just spaced on his name, Michael Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender? Yeah.
Michael Fassbender. That comes out December 21st. If you don't know what Assassin's Creed is, I would probably say don't go watch it because you're probably not going to like it. But it's based off of the video game.
I will give you this. I mean, these are the people that made Macbeth, the one with Michael Fassbender and Marion Cotillard, who's also in Assassin's Creed. And this is our number. We've been talking about this for a long time, but this is our best chance ever for a really good video game movie. And I'll give you this. Macbeth was a beautiful movie. I mean, give or take the acting was great. I'm just saying, like, the biggest takeaway was the visuals. And the trailers for Assassin's Creed look gorgeous.
I'll say...
So I will...
It does.
You know, they look just really interesting. I think they look great.
The biggest movie that has video games at its main story that lots of people are going to be able to go and see and enjoy. You know, because I would say Warcraft was amazing. Like, I really enjoyed it, but I'd also played the games and really liked, you know, its content a lot and kind of knew the backstory of it all. If it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't like it. But with Assassin's Creed, you don't necessarily have to have played the games, be into video games at all to really like this. I don't think. I mean, that's what I'm getting from the trailers. You know, anybody can go and watch this movie and enjoy it. So I think that would be a big, like you said, a big breakthrough for the video game market. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving on. Cody, what are some that you are interested in seeing?
Okay, well, the number one that interests me more than anything else is the new Martin Scorsese movie Silence, which comes out sometime around Christmas. Stars Liam Neeson, Adam Driver, and Andrew Garfield, who we just saw Andrew Garfield in Hacksaw Ridge. Adam Driver is, of course, Kylo Ren in the new Star Wars movie, and Liam Neeson's also a former Jedi. So we have a lot of interesting people who are on their game right now. Scorsese, always interesting. This is a story he's been trying to make for a long time. It's about, I think it's in the 17 or 1800s in Japan. Liam Neeson plays a Jesuit priest who goes to Japan to preach the gospel or whatever, and they get news that he has denied God and turned against the faith, and so two of his kind of students, Andrew Garfield and Adam Driver, go to Japan to see what's going on, and they're all Jesuit priests, and then back then in Japan, apparently being Christian was very, very dangerous, and so there's a lot of, you know, people standing up for their faith and questioning their faith and being persecuted for their faith. Anyway, it looks gorgeous, and the biggest thing is Martin Scorsese, who has always been one of our filmmakers who knows how to treat faith in an interesting and intelligent manner. Whether you believe in anything like that or not, it doesn't seem to matter. It's an interesting thing to discuss and watch, and I can't wait. Anything he makes. I mean, come on. Mm-hmm. Until he dies, I will be there every time he makes a movie. So, him and Spielberg. Another big one I'm looking in is La La Land, which is a musical starring Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. Two things interest me about this. The trailer, which had some incredible visuals and a really interesting and good song that we got a preview of. And it's the second film by, I'm going to butcher his name, but it's like Damien Giselle, or I don't know how you say it. But he directed Whiplash, was his first movie. And Whiplash is one of my favorite movies of the last couple years. So, super looking forward to that one. I got three more. Rogue One, of course, the new Star Wars film. We'll see how that pans out.
I think
Everybody's
that'll be interesting
to, that one,
to see how this knockoff, not knockoff, what am I thinking of?
They're calling them anthology stories. They're like
side story.
You know, not a main Star Wars. Not a main Star Wars episode.
Work out. I think they'll do good. I don't think they're going to do as good as the main stories, just because. I don't know if they have the hype necessarily. I don't know. Maybe they do. I don't know.
It's tracking really well, but box office
I think
wise
Star
right
Wars
now.
is going to destroy no matter what.
But
though,
we'll see.
Just because it's what it is, until people get tired of it, would be expected.
Well, that's another question you bring up: is will Episode 8 be as popular because it doesn't have the novelty of being the first Star Wars movie after the original ones, and the first one to have Harrison Ford?
It won't be so.
Spoiler alert: it doesn't have Harrison Ford anymore.
It doesn't have. It doesn't have the years of wait either.
And the redemption story.
Right, exactly.
And the redemption story.
I'm
they were trying to resurrect
and the
this.
next one do.
Just because I think they're interesting movies, and I think people will go and see them, but it'll be interesting to see how that all works out.
Okay. Moving on to my last couple. Manchester by the Sea, which is a drama about Casey Affleck, Ben Affleck's younger brother, plays a maintenance man who has to go back to the town he's from, Manchester, for his brother's funeral. And I don't know much more than that, and apparently you don't want to know much more than that, but it's already being nominated for and winning a lot of the early awards. It's supposed to be one of the best acted and written dramas in a couple of years. So great buzz on that one. Manchester by the Sea. And lastly, this doesn't come out till March of next year, so it's kind of cheating. But, it's in the future, is Kong Skull Island, which has, you want to listen to some of the people in this movie, Samuel L. Jackson, John Goodman, and Tom Hiddleston in this one. So you've got a lot of the new and old Hollywood elites. And the visuals in the trailer look awesome. So I wasn't looking forward to this one. I heard about it, but the trailer kind of turned me around on it. I liked the last King Kong a lot. I'm up for some more, and yeah, it looks good.
Cool. Brian, go ahead with the ones that you're excited for.
Well, the first one, and I haven't mentioned this one before, but The Eyes of My Mother comes out December 2nd. And I'm just reading this off IMDb. A young, lonely woman is consumed by her deepest and darkest desires after tragedy strikes her quiet country life. But really what caught my attention was a quote from Arno, who is a film critic, with a trailer that's 5 times more frightening than any American Horror Story episode and polarizing critical response. I feel powerless against the pull of this black and white nightmare created by first-time director Nicholas Pesci. So, I'm excited for that one. Doubt we'll get it here in Southeast Idaho, but also La La Land you talked about already, but in our first episode of Leftovers, Part 1, he wrote the screenplay to 10 Cloverfield Lane. Did you see that? The director? I don't think Cody's listening to me. But, anyways, that's just a little piece of trivia. Let's see. And Passengers, I'm really excited about. This is that sci-fi movie starring Chris Pratt and also Jennifer Lawrence. And what's unique about this one is these two people wake up early on a spaceship, and they find themselves the only ones that are awoken early. I don't know if it's like 90 years or 100 years early. And so just makes for a very interesting plot. I'm excited for that one. And I think the only one that we didn't touch on, you guys, was the Ben Affleck film titled Live by Night. And if you guys did mention that, and I spaced off, I apologize, but that's directed by Ben Affleck, which always delivers in his directing area. It's a story about Prohibition, and kind of the workings of what happens behind the scenes of like an organized crime in the Prohibition era, and so excited for that one. And that's about it for me, I guess. So, Bryce?
Cool. So those are the movies that we are excited for. We hope that you're excited for them too. Please let us know the movies that you're excited about. Let us know the movies that you've seen recently, and let's keep the discussion going. And this has been the Valhalla Filmcast. I am Bryce Thompson.
I'm Brian Hammond.
And I'm Cody Ryrie.
And we'll talk to you next time.
The following viewers' opinions and commentary are the sole property of the Valhalla Filmcast. Any unauthorized reproduction without prior consent is prohibited. Any incidental music, audio clips, or film trailers are used for the sole purpose of film criticism and commentary as allowed under the Fair Use Act.